Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. So today's video is going to be a review / demo on this NYX Highlight and Contour Pro palette. I got this palette from Ulta for $25, but I don't think I paid that much. I had a coupon for it, so it was a little bit cheaper. There are 8 different shades in this contouring and highlighting palette. The first shade is like a light shimmery shade and is really good to use as a highlight on the cheekbones. This shade is another light shade to highlight, but it is matte and it has a hint of pink in it. And this one is the one that I use personally to set my under eye concealer and set all the areas that I highlight, because it's really nice, it's matte, and I have a yellow undertone, so I feel like this would really complement and bring out that highlight looks for my concealer. And then this shade is the one that I rarely ever use because it is like a peachy shimmery shade, and I think if you are one of those people that like a peachy and pinky highlighting shade on top of your cheekbones, you would like this. But I almost always go for like a light shimmery shade like this to highlight, so I rarely ever use this one. And then going down to the bronzing shades, these first two right here are my favorite to warm up the face. This first one is a matte brown. It is a warm brown, so it's really good to warm up the face. The second one is also good, but it has a hint of shimmer in it, so if you don't like any bronzing shades that has shimmer in it, you would not like the second shade at all because it's pretty shimmery. And then this third shade is one of my favorite shades in this palette, this one and the banana one. The rest of them I probably could go without, but I really like this third bronzing shades to contour. The reason being, it is a cool tone bronzing shade. It is perfect to give you that define and really cast a nice shadow on top of your cheekbones and give you that really nice contour look. And then this last bronzing shade is a really dark brown bronzing shade. I have light to medium skin, so this one is really dark for me. If you have medium to dark skin, I think this shade will be a really good shade to give you that nice contoured look. But for me, I really can't use it because it is way too dark. I think this is a good contour palette, but I don't think it is anything to be raved about and hyped up for and oh my gosh, I need to go buy it ASAP. If you're a beginner and you want a contour palette and you don't want to spend so much money and you don't have enough bronzers and highlighting shades, this will be perfect for you because it has a couple different highlighting shades as well as under eye setting powder as well as 4 different bronzers, so this will be good. But I have quite a few bronzers in my collection, so there are no shades on here that I don't have. As far as the quality of it, it's really nice. It's super blendable. It lasts all day on my face, so I really don't have any complaints when it comes to that. So my 100% honest opinion, are you going to miss out on something if you don't own this palette? Probably not, but don't get me wrong, it is a nice palette and I think you're definitely worth the money if you don't own anything like this and you don't have a lot of bronzers, a lot of highlighting shades, and you want to start learning how to contour and highlight. This will be an affordable one to check out. So enough ranting, I'm going to show you how I contour and highlight using this palette. So don't go anywhere and keep on watching. So this is my first talk through tutorial ever, so please bear with me. So all I have on my face right now is foundation. I have nothing else on but foundation. That's why it is pretty light and ghostly looking because I'm really pale. Okay, so after foundation, I like to apply on concealer to hide my dark circles. So I like to apply on like a concealer, something like this. This is the Maybelline Instant Age Rewind Concealer. So this is what I normally do. And you see me do this in a lot of my other tutorials. This is a highlighting step. So I'm going to drag it underneath my eyes in a triangle shape. What this does is that it will bring light to the middle of your face where everything else will be dark when we bronze it up with a bronzer. So I'm going to first go like this and then draw a triangular shape like that. I'm going to do the same thing on this side like that. It looks pretty scary, but I promise you it would look really nice when we're done. Next, I'm going to apply a line down the bridge of my nose. My nose is pretty flat, so I always try to contour it to make it look better. So this is what you're gonna do. You're gonna just draw a straight line. It doesn't have to be perfectly straight, but you just want it down the bridge of your nose, right in the middle. And then I'm gonna take a little bit, maybe draw like an X or so like that, in the middle of my forehead, and then a little bit on my chin and a tiny bit on my cupid bow. So then just kind of dab it in and blend it into the skin like this. And you can see after I'm done that it will really line up and brighten up the middle part of your face. And you don't want to swipe it around, you kind of just want to pat it in to your skin. And I would really recommend to get a beauty blender. You don't have to spend like $20 to get the original beauty blender. The one from Real Techniques works just as good, if not better. It's a lot more squishy, I guess, and it works so well. Like, I don't have to spend money buying my Real Technique. I don't have to spend money buying my original beauty blender from Sephora anymore because it's just too expensive. So after that, we're going to set the concealer. Now, no matter how expensive the concealer that you get, it's going to crease if you don't set it. So from this palette, I'm going to use this banana shade right here to set all the places that I just highlighted. I'm going to take a good amount and then press that on top of the concealer. You don't want to swipe again because we just did a lot of work to conceal that dark circles. So you want to do everything you can to make sure that the concealer does not move. And you can do that by just pressing it into the skin. Like so. And then you want to set your nose, your forehead, your chin, and your cupid bow. Okay, so from this palette, after we set, I'm going to warm up my face. Warming up the face is different than contouring it. Warming up the face, I'm just taking a fluffy brush like this, and I'm dabbing it on a lighter shade bronzer, and I'm going to dust that all over the face. It's not specifically will be focusing on the hollow of your cheeks, it's just pretty much dusting it all over the face, except for the areas that you highlighted. So I'm going to be taking this first color right here from this NYX palette, and then make sure you tap it off so you don't have too much product on your face. And I'm just going to dust it on my cheeks, and you'll be able to tell the difference between one cheek that I warmed up and the other cheek that has nothing on it. So as you can tell already that this face looks a lot slimmer and has more definition than this side of my face. And this is the power of warming up your face. It looks so nice and it just makes you look really healthy, because I am pale as a ghost, pretty much. Okay, and then I'm gonna do the same thing on this side. Remember, you want to avoid the triangle areas that you worked so hard to highlight and all that stuff. You don't want to put more bronzer on it because we try to keep it as light as we can. So I'm just dusting this on there. Okay, and you want to take some and dust that on your jawbone and on your neck. And then you're going to put some on the top of your forehead. Try to get to as close to the hairline as you can, because we don't want to just have bronzer, skin, and then hair. You know, it looks weird. So just like that. I normally use my NARS Ebates brush, but it is really expensive and not everybody owns it. If you're like me, you have the tendency to overload the products on, and trust me, it is better to add more rather than trying to take away. So I recommend to use a stippling brush like this so that you don't get too much product on the brush. It is not so dense, and you can control how much product you put on the face. To find your cheekbones, 1, you can make a duck face like this. And this right here, that is the hollow of your cheeks. Or 2, you can take the brush and roll down on the top of your cheekbones, and where it's a flat surface, when it's not so tall anymore and it's flat at the end of that, this is where the hollow of your cheeks are. Where to stop applying. You want to apply from the hairline right here down to where the eyebrows end. You don't want to go past this line where your eyebrows end. You do not want to go past this area, because then it would look super crazy. You want to start here in circle motion, dab it down to where the eyebrow ends. That's where you stop. Do not go past that, because you would look crazy. So I have product on my brush, then I'm going to encircle, dab it in the hollow of my cheekbones from the hairline. Try to get as close to the hairline as you can. Like that. You can already tell it is now starting to be a lot more defined. Like I said, it's easier to add more rather than take away. So if it's still too light for you and you want it to be more defined, then you can add more on the brush. And that's what I'm going to do. And always make sure you tap off before you apply it on your face, because we don't want any extra product. And in the same motion, do the same thing. And only put the bronzer in the hollow of your cheeks when you're contouring. We're not warming up the face now, we're strictly contouring. And you see I'm not taking it anywhere past this eyebrow line. Like that. And you can already tell that my face looks like 5 times slimmer, and I love it. When I turn this way, there's nothing. When I turn this way, it looks so much better. If you happen to put way too much bronzer on, you can either, if you have a beauty blender, you can use a damp beauty blender that you apply your foundation on, and then just pat it to blend out the bronzer if you put too much. 2, if you don't have a beauty blender and you have a powder brush, you can apply on a little bit of the powder that you use to set your face. You can pat the powder on top of that bronzer just to take some of that dark bronzer away. I'm going to show you on this side as well. Again, if you need more, you can always add more. You cannot, it's harder to take it away than to add more. Since I have such a round face, I also like to contour my jawline to give my face more of a shape. So then you just take some more product and then you contour your jawline like this. Okay. So after I finish contouring my jawline, I move on to my forehead. If you have a larger forehead, you want to focus more contouring on it so that it would look slimmer. But what I normally do, I just take a little bit of product on my stippling brush, the same brush that I use for the rest of my face. And from the hairline, I just kind of bring it down just a little bit. The area that you want to live really light is this area right here, right in the middle of your forehead. The rest of it, you want to darken it up. And this works really well for those that have a larger forehead. And this trick really helps to make your forehead appear slimmer. Slimmer? Smaller. I meant smaller. So yeah. Kind of want to go down, leaving the middle part of this forehead to be the lightest part. Because remember when we put the concealer here, because we highlighted this part, so we want this part to stand out while we hide the rest of the forehead. Next, I like to apply on blush. I'm taking the Warm Soul from MAC, and I've had this blush since forever, and with a fluffy blush brush, I like to apply that on the top of my cheekbones. And a really good tips for those out there who have a round face like me, you want to try to apply on your blush, not all the way on the apple of your cheeks. Then it makes your face look even rounder. You want to literally focus it on the outer portion of your cheekbones. You don't want to go anywhere inwards. And I hope this really helps you, because I used to be very insecure about my face. I really learned tricks and tips to apply on makeup that actually enhance my feature. So from this NYX palette, I'm taking this lightest shimmery shade right here with a fan brush. I like to apply on a fan brush because it's thin and it gets right on that high point of the cheeks. Let's take a little bit, tap some off, and then sweep that right on the top of your cheeks. You don't want it to go down here. It has to be on the highest points of your cheeks. You just dust that on there. You can see how it looks so good and shimmery, so pretty. Ooh, I like it. Okay. And then to give it an oomph, I like to highlight a little bit on this middle forehead here, on my nose, on my cupid bow. You can skip this step if you have gorgeous nose that does not need to be contoured, but I'm gonna take a fluffy brush like this, and it's better to use a fluffy one like this. This is the Tapered Blending E40 from Sigma, and I'm taking that first bronzing shade from the NYX palette, tap it off, and this is what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna draw 2 lines down the bridge of my nose and then blend it in. This really helps your nose to look a lot slimmer, and it is pretty much an instant snow job. It's an instant it is an instant nose job. I honestly cannot talk today, and I'm so thirsty, I completely forgot to bring up a cup of water. So please excuse my hoarse voice. So I hope you find this video helpful. Don't forget to thumbs up this video if you like it and subscribe, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.